Guys, the market's been crazy this week with all the ETF news, global uncertainty, the new bullish signals. Here's what the data actually shows about buying XRP now. And I'll talk about what I'm doing. By all means, I'm not a financial advisor. That's not me, that's my wife. But I'm gonna keep her out of this because she asked me to keep her out of this. So just 3 points that I wanna get out to. Let's recap some of the recent good news with XRP, and then we'll jump to point 2 with all the geopolitical uncertainty and then all the market liquidations. I didn't get liquidated, but a ton of other people did, longs. And then point number 3, let's talk about historical accumulation and patterns, and then the timing of things that are happening right now. In my other channel, I talked about discipline and motivation. So if you want to take a peek at that too, just before you watch this one, I think it'll be very important to focus on some of the discipline pieces that will tie in with overall investments. And then depending on how you want to look at when you're buying XRP now, if you're considering buying XRP now, like that's something that you should watch before you get into this. So for point number 1, recap, let's do a little recap of some of the good news. So Bloomberg ETF analysts, Bloomberg analysts are saying that the ETF has a 90% chance of XRP getting approval soon. I don't know when it's going to be. I don't have a crystal ball, and I don't want to follow on timelines because they can shift the timelines anytime. But when it does happen and they have certain dates that are set, and it's released out on a validated source, then I'll start stating that. I'm thinking it's probably going to be before this year ends. And then the other thing is Ripple's expanding its global partnerships with CBDCs, pilots, global payments. They're continuing to expand. That's just what they do. They're great at it. They have a great team. Ripple has if I could work for them, I would definitely go work for them. They're such a great company from my perspective, from what I've seen going on. They have so much innovation going on there. And then the ISO 20022, what is that, 20,000? I'll just call it the ISO 22. I'm just gonna call it that. So the positioning around that as a utility coin, it's done. It's regulated from my perspective like that. It's not a meme coin. The main thing that I wanna get out is that the 90% chance of it being approved, to me, I'm just like, oh, it's already approved then. It's good, it's just not noise. So this is institutional adoption and traction being made here. And then the way that I look at this is it's an entry before the next wave. The first wave already passed us back in November, December. I think this is another chance, another opportunity to get into that wave. So that's where I set my buys and everything already. So I'm already in it for the long haul. It's a little scary though, but that's just what my plan was. So I just follow my plan and then make sure that I do have some alerts set up too. So that way the way that I look at it, right? So to dip, that I can buy more, just so that way I have additional cash because I'm just gonna bet on it, right? That's my plan. So I'm following with that plan. If it goes up, then I'm just gonna continue to do a percentage up, 10%, 20%, start incrementally going up. Not all my position is completely all in. So I'm just gonna be like, oh, I'm just gonna keep on averaging down so that way I can get more of it, right? And then talking point number 2, so all the uncertainty that's going on right now with the market liquidations, that's scary. It's a thing. So with all the tensions going on, raising fears, investors are looking for more safe havens to put their investments in. This is across the whole crypto market and the stock market. So there's a lot of shakeout going on. Weak hands, got some weak hands out there. But in all reality, it is scary. But at the end of the day, just stick to your plan. Make sure you actually have diamond hands. And if you don't got diamond hands and you got paper hands, then sorry, this channel isn't for you. Use the current uncertainty as an opportunity. Use the fear as an opportunity. This is when smart money buys. It's exactly when everyone else is scared. You look at that fear and greed index. I'll show you guys sometime too. If you guys want to see that, let me know. I can do a screen share and show you coin market cap, show you some Yahoo Finance stuff and where I look at some of the fear and greed indexes. Well, we can do a little lunch and learn, I don't know. And then the other piece to this point number 2 is position yourself for a rebound. So XRP historically moves after Bitcoin stabilizes post liquidation. So that might be forming now because I see things stabilizing. We'll see how the market reacts. It seems like crypto is reacting just like how the stock market. So if you look at it, it's pretty even. It's going right in comparison. So that's the other, just position yourself pretty well or just have a plan. Or you can just sit on the side. No, it's okay too. I was debating, I was like literally like 60-40. I was like, should I stick to my plan or should I just sit out a little bit because there's a lot of fear too. I have the same exact fear as everyone else. I'm not gonna liquidate, but I do have that fear. But I wouldn't liquidate, I would just sit behind the scenes. And that's a strategy too, is being patient. So point number 3 is historical accumulation patterns and timing. XRP tends to build slightly in the 40 cents to 55 cents range before major runs. Well, like that's where it was sitting between those two ranges, right? If you look at it now, it's been sitting between anywhere between 190s at the very low. So I'm just gonna say 190 all the way up to 340. Those are bigger ranges, but if you do the calculations percentage range, it's probably going to be sitting the same. Do the math and just correct me if I'm wrong on that. But that's the range, right? It's been sitting like that. The RSI is nearly oversold conditions again. So that's like how it was pre-2021 breakout. That's the data. That's just how the price reacts. And I'm not going to fluctuate. Us retailers, we're not going to be able to fluctuate anything. But that's just what's happening. So don't panic. Have patience. The best runs start when most people are distracted or they're fearful. So that's exactly where we're at now. I don't want to set up for hype. The numbers, the charts, the news, everything's just aligning. So just be prepared to benefit from those if you're going to jump in with me. Think of the cycles and just don't think of it like clicks. Think of it just cycles. What I mean by that is you're not looking at it from a short-term perspective. Look at it from a long-term. Just overall, XRPs, the best runs have come after people called it boring or dead. So once you start seeing that all over your YouTube feed, then jump in. So you just ride with it and then you'll be solid. Come ride it with me, guys, and then enjoy the fun. I know it's kind of scary right now, but that's just the nature of it. Stay strong. Keep those diamond hands intact. No paper hands here. Again, if you enjoy this video, please subscribe and comment. Thank you for staying all the way through. Enjoy. Later, guys and girls.